plaintiff, Adam Dingle, says he had a rough childhood, and as a result, he's worked hard to give his child a better life. Adam claims after the defendant got pregnant with his child, she became emotionally abusive, and it drove him to drink, and he's suing her today for an unpaid electric bill. Defendant Jennifer Aceto says the reason she's in court today is because Adam's upset that he has supervised visitation with their son. Jennifer claims the court ordered supervised visitation after Adam held her and their son captive and threatened to harm her if she called the police. And she's countersuing for rent and pet insurance premiums.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, I'm 29 years old. I've had a pretty rough life growing up. I'm the youngest of 5 children. My mother, I was raised by a single mother. My father was not involved in my life whatsoever. She's struggled to keep a roof over our heads, so we've struggled with living on the streets. I've lost all 3 of my older brothers. I've lost my mother. I've lost my father. I stand here today as the only family member left. And it's brought me to be the person I am today and do the things I do and live compassionately and with an open heart.
Good.
I just try and be the best person I can, the way my mom taught me to be.
So you work?
Absolutely. I've been working for full time.
Haven't been in and out of prison?
Never been in prison.
Well, I think your mom was looking down proud of you.
I hope I tried.
And I say work and not in and out of prison because unfortunately that is the circumstance in most of America's impoverished communities. The men are at risk of unemployment because the jobs leave when the community gets poor, or the community gets poor when the jobs leave, and unable to meet their basic needs, people turn to a life of crime in the impoverished communities. And life of crime leads you in and out of jail. So, and I always like to make that point because sometimes people think folks in poverty were just born to be criminals.
No way.
They're living in poverty, and poverty leads to crime, and the best answer to crime is a job. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
The best answer. That's why you're not in crime. You got a job.
Exactly.
Number one answer. All right. So how do you know the defendant?
We met about 6 years ago through a mutual friend, and instantly I felt a connection. I think we both felt a connection. I've never committed to another person prior to her or even after her. She was the love of my life. About 3 years into our relationship, we've been living together for over 2 years at this time. We found out she was pregnant with my son. Things began to change immediately after finding out.
How so?
She became more controlling and more emotionally abusive to me, calling me names.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but that is a lie, and I think you're talking about yourself.
Calling me names, which I would rather not say.
Got
not
it.
looking
so
to
you
make
all
her...
you all's relationship took a turn for the worse. And how did it turn out?
Well, we had our son. We stuck together. We were both doing the best we could, I feel. I was doing the best I could. You know, I did start to drink a little too much, semi to deal with the emotional abuse I was receiving. I was working roughly 12 to 14 hours a day, which left me little to no time with my son. I primarily had 1 day off a week.
Which was your choice?
It was, I felt, my day.
Just spend with her too, man.
Oh, yeah, but primarily, I mean, it became about our son when we had our son.
You could take or leave her at that point.
Well, no.
Well, then you should have wanted to spend a day with her, too.
Well, because at this point in time, our relationship became toxic.
That's what I'm asking. Okay, so like I said, you could take it or leave it with her.
I couldn't. That was the problem. She would have to give me permission to have time with my son.
You were living in the same house?
Yes.
So when you say, son, let's go to the ballpark. Dad is home today. I'm off. I don't know, Dad. You know you got to get permission to hang out with me. Let me hear from you, man. Give me some background. Then we'll get to the electric bill he's suing about and the rent you're suing him about. All
right. First, Your Honor, we're here today because he's mad that he has court-ordered supervised visitation with our son.
Since when?
December 2016.
What happened that caused that? If you want to say, you don't have to.
So our relationship was pretty rocky. You know, everyone has their ups and downs in their relationships. What caused this was back in July of 2016. So he let me sleep in that one day. I woke up and I found my son yelling for Dad. So I came downstairs to find him looking out the front door and to find Adam in my car stealing change. So I confronted him about it. I asked him, you know, you just got paid yesterday. Where's all your money? Why do you feel the need to take the money out of my car? I knew it was going to escalate into an argument, so I went upstairs to pack a bag and just leave for the day to avoid an argument with our son. He followed me upstairs. He came in the room, shut the door, stood in front of the door, and kept us in the room for over 2 hours with my infant son.
It wasn't 2 hours.
About getting some money?
Because he wanted to take the baby, and I wasn't comfortable with it because of his behavior and how he was acting.
He wanted to take the baby where?
For a walk.
He was demanding that I have to give him my son in order for him to open the door.
Okay.
So I wasn't going to because my son's safety comes before anything. So after about 2 hours, he was threatening me during this time.
Not true.
So I had opened the window to yell for help. My phone was in my bedroom. I opened my window, or my son's window, because we were in his room, to yell for help. And he told me, quote unquote, if the cops come, you're not getting out of here alive.
That is not true.
Why do you think he was doing all this?
Because he has a control problem. He needs to feel like he's in control.
All right. And you have any evidence of this? He's saying it's untrue, it's untrue. These are very inflammatory allegations. Do you have something that shows he had to have supervised?
I have a court order.
Yeah, that's
like
okay. And sir, you keep denying it. And she's showing me a court order. What do you have to say?
So,
why didn't you win it in court?
I don't understand why I didn't win in court.
Okay.
But so the day.
No, you told me you don't
July
understand.
10th
That's the only thing I want to know, sir. You don't understand. Please go back and get an understanding. It's not a good idea to not know why you're unable to see your son without supervision as ruled by the court. All right. What is the electric bill for, sir?
The electric bill, so July 10th, when we broke up, I had left. I didn't expect it to not work out. I thought that if we just took a short break.
You left for what reason?
You left after you were walking around the house with
the
the BB gun.
situation in which we were in.
Got it.
She wouldn't let me have my child, and I didn't want to continue the situation in front of my child. So the only choice that I felt that I had was to leave.
All right. What happened?
So I left the light bill in my name because she has my son.
Did you ever return to live there?
No, she wouldn't let me.
Okay, and that's why you're suing for the months that you're charged that you didn't live there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Was your child living there?
Yes, sir.
All right. You don't think he needed lights?
Which is why I left the bill in my name.
But now you want the money.
Well, I want her to. She claimed responsibility for it, and she
claims responsibility for her share.
For the bill.
For her share of the lights. What about your baby's share of the lights? You gonna sue your child? Or you gonna let him off the hook? You You got my point, sir. She has the child. The child needs lights.
I'm paying her child support
Okay.
prior
You
to
weren't at that time.
There we
Not
go.
at that time.
All
paying
right.
child
You
support.
say he wasn't paying any
Not at that time.
during that
I
time?
had to take him to court
All
in
right.
October to get child support.
That is not
That
true.
was
Then
in
he lost
October.
his
When is
job.
this bill? You have it? Let's see some documents. You have something regarding October?
The court order.
Yes.
Which prior to the court order, I was giving her $450 a month
On your own?
on my own.
Is that true, ma'am?
That
How
was
much was
when
he
the
giving
court
you?
was ordered in October.
What was
for
he
that.
giving you before the
Nothing.
court order?
Nothing. And that's why I had to go to court.
Got it. All right. So let's move on. Do you owe for the electric bill or not?
I don't think I do
Why?
because
Why don't you owe your half? He got to sue the baby on his own.
so our agreement was I pay the utilities and everything regarding our son, he pays rent. So, you know, and where we live, our lease states that you need to give a 30-day notice before moving out. So July of 10th, he leaves me hanging with August rent. So he didn't pay his share of rent. I didn't pay my share of the electric bill.
And you're countersuing him for rent. And how does he owe for rent and pet insurance?
He owes for the rent because he didn't have 30-day notice, and that was his responsibility.
How much for the rent?
$12.50.
That was the amount you all paid each month
Yep.
I paid, sir.
as part of the agreement.
Yes, sir.
And do you owe for that month?
I don't believe so.
I have
Did
messages
you leave
from him.
without giving 30-day notice?
Yes, sir.
All right, then you owe. And the insurance premium, what is this for a pet?
It's our dog's insurance that he wanted.
Who has the dog now?
I do.
So why would he pay insurance for the dog that you have? I'll grant you your judgment, $303. However, you admit to not giving 30-day notice, so I'll grant her judgment for $12.50. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
He is a deadbeat piece of father who chooses not to see his kid and blames it on me. And as you can see, there's a court order saying he can see his child, and he chooses not to.
I just wish that she would mature up and allow me to be in my son's life. It's been 147 days since she's allowed me to see my son, and it's unjustified, and my son misses me and he wants me, and I hope that someday she can mature up and we can co-parent together for the sake of our son.